Well, we all wanted another Oscar slap this year, and it looks like we got it. Angela Bassett's reaction to losing has set the internet on fire. In case you missed it, when Jame Lee Curtis was announced the winner, Angela Bassett refused to do the whole gracious loser act. No fake smile, no applause. It was like she was way too upset to even move. And furthermore, she refused to stand when everybody else gave a standing ovation. Okay, now watching from home, I actually missed all that, because apparently the producers of the show decided to keep the cameras off Angela Bassett when she refused to participate. But it was too late. Twitter had already blown up with screenshots of a pissed off Angela Bassett, and of course, everybody had an opinion. I mean, this is the internet. People started to refer to her as a sore loser, while others came to her defense and said that she was just being honest. I even read someone calling her shady. Now, as somebody who hates to lose at anything, I totally get it. Losing is difficult, especially when it's something that's so meaningful to you. That was an important moment for her, and for some reason, people are giving her a hard time for showing an emotion that we would have all felt had we been in the same situation. Imagine for a second what that must feel like. Being brought into the office at work and being told you are one of 5 employees up for a promotion. Cameras point to you and the other 4 nominees, all of America tunes in for the results, and you lose.
Oh my God, I feel bad.
That would be humiliating for anybody. But for some reason, ironically, that's why we watch these kinds of shows. The award shows know this. It's why they're televised to begin with. I love seeing their surprise at winning, their disappointment at losing, and if they trip getting up to get their award, even better. In case any of you didn't notice, fellow nominee Carrie Condon was pretty pissed she lost as well. And last year, composer Diane Warren refused to clap for the winner when she lost for the 13th time.
Billie Eilish.
Now, like I said, at first, I didn't even notice her reaction. I needed the vicious trolls on Twitter to point it out for me. Judging by their reaction, I was expecting something way worse than they had described. But when I went back and rewatched the clip, I didn't see a sore loser like a lot of people had said. And I definitely didn't see someone angry that they hadn't won. I simply saw disappointment. I think everybody expects actors to be superhuman. They appear so composed in interviews. They're always prepped to say the right things, and they have to be so careful with what they do in public. Then we wave a promotion at them on national television in the form of an Oscar, and when they don't smile at the fact that they lost, we ridicule them. It's bullshit. And now, Angela Bassett's an example of what happens when actors step out of line. And this is the thing. Angela Bassett is one of the most real actors in Hollywood. She's always been very candid in interviews about how she's felt about her career. She is a Hollywood actor who wears her heart on her sleeve. In an interview recently, she mentioned how disappointed she was when she lost her first Oscar race. This is something most actors will rarely admit to. Everybody knows the Oscars are a big deal to an actor, but few so openly admit to dreaming of one day winning one. And here she was, at the Oscars again, about to finally achieve that dream. And not just that, but everybody was telling her this was her time. Every major poll predicted her the winner, and on top of that, she'd already won 2 other major awards. Unlike her first Oscar race, this time, she was the undisputed frontrunner. But then she lost, in what became one of the bigger upsets of the evening. To be honest, if she had given us anything but the disappointment she showed, I would have respected her less. Because she, yet again, wore her heart on her sleeve, allowing us in on the disappointment she felt about something that meant so much to her. Now, something surprises me about Angela Bassett's career. In her long and accomplished career, she has only scored 1 Oscar nomination. And that was way back in 1994. This is an actress who has over 100 credits to her name and has given many memorable performances. And no matter how many times she's gotten Oscar buzz over the years, she has never gotten a second nomination. They could have nominated her for her fiery yet vulnerable performance in How Stella Got Her Groove Back, or even Waiting to Exhale, where Angela gave such a moving performance, she saves the film from being just a cheesy rom-com. I can only imagine what she had been thinking all these years, waiting for the Academy to finally come around and give her some kind of recognition. She probably started thinking what everybody else had come to realize. The Academy just didn't seem to want to nominate Black performances. At the same time, though, she's never once complained. In fact, anytime anyone has made a big deal of the fact that the Oscars never give her any attention, she quickly shuts them down. She said recently in an interview in regards to her first Oscar loss, "I never walk away thinking I was robbed. I choose to believe there was a reason why it didn't happen. And I think she probably made peace with the idea that she would forever be Oscar nominee Angela Bassett and never Oscar winner. Because for a while, it seemed as though the Academy was never going to change. Then around 8 years ago, there was a huge swell of support for more diversity in Hollywood. Films like Moonlight and Get Out didn't just get nominated for Oscars, but even won a few as well. And it finally felt like the tide was beginning to turn. When Black Panther came out, it pushed Hollywood a little bit further in that direction. I mean, this was a big budget blockbuster that centered around a primarily black cast. So when the sequel to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, came out last year, and Angela Bassett got rave reviews from audiences and the critics, it was no wonder that award shows would come knocking. For her, this was probably a huge surprise. I mean, Wakanda Forever is an action movie, a Marvel superhero movie no less. These kinds of films rarely get the attention of the Oscars, and yet, against all odds, she finally secured her second Oscar nomination. And in the process, she also earned the Marvel Universe their first acting nomination. She probably thought, yes, I'm back in the Oscars game. And after winning 2 of the major awards this season, she probably felt unstoppable. Unstoppable, that is, until the dreaded moment when her dream came crashing down. I can't imagine what she felt when Jame Lee Curtis was called the winner, but by the look on her face, it had to have been close to heartbreak. Now, I'm not going to speculate on who should or should not have won. That's not what this video is about, and given how subjective the Oscars are, that's an incredibly boring conversation. What I'm interested in is what could she have possibly been thinking in that moment to have responded the way she did? I think she probably had to have been asking herself, why did I lose? I love Jame Lee Curtis's performance. Like I said, no judgment here, but I can't imagine what it must feel like to lose to someone who's had such a huge leg up in the industry after you've had to struggle to build your Hollywood career from the ground up. And on top of that, she's probably thinking, was this award taken away from me due to bias? I mean, looking at just how many black actors have been overlooked in the past, this had to have crossed her mind. The only reason I mention all this is because before you tear apart an actor for being ungrateful or a sore loser, you have to put yourself in their shoes for a moment and ask yourself, what must this have felt like for them? I mean, she knew she was on TV. She knows how these things work. If you win, you smile. If you lose, you smile. No matter what happens, you gotta fake it for the cameras. But yet, in this moment, she couldn't move. This speaks volumes about just how many unanswered questions were probably running through her mind. And I think just like how we all take a moment to process incredible disappointment, Angela Bassett wasn't purposely showing disrespect. She was just trying to make sense of what just happened. At the end of the day, it's really easy to pass judgment on what it means to be a famous actor. I mean, we get to see the glitz and glamour of their lives, but there's so much more going on underneath. Despite what we see on TV and in movies, it's not easy. Getting there in the first place is full of way more disappointment than success. And once you get there, you gotta hold on to your career for dear life. There's so many stories of actors who worked really hard to get a big break, but then whose careers just fizzled out quickly after. Through all these ups and downs, you're expected to remain composed and gracious. But remember, we're all just humans. No matter what job we have or where we are at any point in our careers, we're all the same, with the same human responses to just how unpredictable life can be sometimes. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you think of her response in the comments, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel, because if you don't, I'm going to throw some serious Angela Bassett shade at you.